If your gut feels slower than it used to be, and your mornings now begin with bloating, heaviness, or that uncomfortable feeling that nothing is moving the way it should, you are not imagining it. I heard some version of that complaint from older patients for years, and in many cases, what helps most is not the thing people usually try first. If your gut feels slower than it used to, and your mornings now begin with bloating, heaviness, or that uncomfortable feeling that nothing is moving the way it should, you are not imagining it. I heard some version of that complaint from older patients for years. And for some people, this is not just about the stomach. It changes the whole morning. You wake up already uneasy. You stand in the kitchen, wondering whether breakfast will help or make things worse. And sometimes you do not even feel comfortable leaving the house until your body finally settles down. I've known older patients who planned their whole morning around whether their stomach would cooperate. As we get older, the gut often becomes more sensitive. We may be moving less than we used to. We may not be drinking enough. Some of us eat too quickly or take medicines that can slow the gut down. Little by little, those things add up. The good news is, this is not always something you simply have to surrender to. What I want to share today are 8 simple habits that make sense for older digestion. Some reflect the kind of moderate, steady eating patterns you often see in places where people age well. Others are the same practical advice I gave many of my own patients over the years. None of them are dramatic. That is exactly the point. At my age, I trust simple routines more than dramatic fixes. I'll walk you through these from the easiest place to begin to the one I would personally start with first. Let's start with the easiest ones first, because sometimes the habits people keep are the habits that help them most.
Habit number 8. Seated belly breathing after a meal. You do not need anything fancy here. Just sit upright in a comfortable chair after a meal, relax your shoulders, and take 5 slow breaths into the belly. For many older adults, that small pause helps the body loosen up. And when the body loosens up, digestion often gets an easier start too. No kneeling, no strain, no special setup. Just a slower moment after eating. Habit number 7. A warm cup of ginger tea. A warm cup of ginger tea can feel soothing to the stomach, especially after a meal. I would keep this simple. A few slices of fresh ginger in hot water is enough. You are not trying to impress your body. You're trying to make things a little easier on it. Habit number 6. A gentle clockwise belly massage. This is one I used to explain carefully to patients. Lie back with your knees bent and use a flat hand to make a slow clockwise motion across the belly. Gentle pressure only. You are not trying to push the body around. You are trying to help it settle down. If you have strong pain, recent surgery, a hernia, or unexplained symptoms, skip this one and talk with your doctor first. These first 3 are not dramatic, but they are easy to try, low risk for many people, and realistic for older adults.
Habit number 5. Chew more slowly than you think you need to. This may sound too simple to matter, but I saw it help many older adults. When we eat too fast, the whole meal enters the system in a rush. The stomach has more work to do, the gut has more work to do. And many people end up feeling heavy after eating, without quite knowing why. Try this instead. Take smaller bites. Put the fork down every so often. Chew until the food is soft and easy to swallow. You do not need to count every bite. I would not turn a meal into homework. Habit number 4.
Start the day with something warm and easy on the stomach. This is one of the changes I trust more and more as I've gotten older myself. A warm, light breakfast often sits better than a heavy one, a greasy one, or a sugary one. For some people, that might be oatmeal. For others, it may be soft eggs, a simple soup, or a light broth. The exact food matters less than this question: does it feel easy on your stomach? You are looking for a breakfast that gives the morning an easier start, not one that overloads you before the day has even begun.
Habit number 3. Begin the morning with something warm and simple before food. For many older adults, that may be plain warm water. For others, it may be a mild tea or warm water with a little lemon, if it agrees with them. The point here is not the recipe. The point is how the morning begins. You are giving the stomach an easier start before food, before coffee, and before the day begins to rush you. In my own kitchen, I would keep this simple. Habit number 2. Stop eating when you are comfortable, not stuffed. This is one of the wisest habits I ever saw in older adults who seem to stay more comfortable around food well into later life. They did not eat until they felt miserable. They ate until they felt settled. Serve yourself a little less than usual. Eat slowly. Pause halfway through and ask, am I still hungry, or am I simply still eating? That one question can save many people from the kind of heaviness that lingers for hours. Habit number 1. Give the morning one steady routine your body can count on. If someone my age asked me where I would start tomorrow morning, this would be it. Before coffee, before a heavy breakfast, before the day gets busy, sit down and slowly drink one warm glass of water. Not scalding hot, not ice cold, just warm enough to feel easy going down. Then give your body a little time. Open the curtains, walk around the kitchen, water the plants, straighten the counter. Let the morning begin before you crowd it. I saw too many older folks spend money on exciting promises that helped very little. But simple routines are often the ones people could actually keep. And the habits people can keep are usually the ones that help the most. Now, let me show you the one mistake I do not want you to make after hearing all of this. Here is the mistake I do not want you to make. Do not wake up tomorrow and try all 8 habits at once. That is how helpful advice turns into one more routine you abandon by next Tuesday. Start with 1. For many people, I would make that one steady morning routine. Stay with it for several days. Then add 1 meal habit. Slow your eating, or stop a little sooner than usual. That is enough. You are not trying to force your body. You are trying to work with it. And I also want to say this clearly. If you have severe constipation, blood in the stool, ongoing vomiting, weight loss, major pain, or a clear sudden change in bowel habits, please get medical attention. But if what you are dealing with is the slower, heavier, more stubborn digestion that so many older adults describe, these routines can be a very reasonable place to begin. What matters most is not intensity, it is consistency. So, if your digestion has felt more stubborn lately, please do not jump straight to the idea that your body is failing you. Sometimes it is simply asking for a steadier pace,
a little less strain, and a morning that begins more gently. If this were my own routine, I would keep it simple. One warm glass of water, a breakfast that feels easy on the stomach, a slower pace at meals, and a little more respect for what an older body is asking for. Very often, the body responds better to steadiness than to force. And when the morning feels more predictable, people often feel more like themselves again, more comfortable, more willing to go out, more willing to enjoy a meal, more like they have their day back again. If this kind of calm, practical guidance is helpful to you, I'd be glad to have you here on the channel. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. If this video helped you, subscribe to Stay Independent 60+ for more calm, practical health guidance for older adults who want to stay comfortable, confident, and independent.